Hi people, my name is Kaizzad Capadia. I am the co-founder director of K11 Academy of Fitness Sciences. Started my career off as a personal trainer, and before that I was a competitive bodybuilder, continued to be one, and today I've just entered my corporate headquarters that basically is the center from where we control all our schools. Our schools basically teach exercise science. They run courses for people who want to make careers in the fitness industry, become personal trainers, sports nutritionists. So I am in my corporate office, I'm in my cabin right now, and you saw me walk through my office. There was hardly anyone there because it's early in the morning. The work day has still not started, and I'm also not in my corporate attire. I'm wearing a t-shirt because I've just come on my bike right now. That's also something that I guess you'll have seen captured because it's a day in my life, and bodyandstrength.com found me worthy enough to show what happens in a regular day of my life, a regular work day of my life. So I feel pretty privileged that somebody would be that interested in knowing what I do throughout the day. Anyways, so since they asked, I felt okay, there's nothing special about what I do. I'm running a business. The business is a bit weird. It's not your standard business. That is because I never thought of doing this business. It was just something that happened naturally. It was something that I knew I could share and earn a living, and that's what I'm doing. So today you're going to probably see how I make a living out of a business called as vocational education, catering to the fitness industry. So very sort of late in life, I suddenly realized that I had changed my sectors. So obviously Body and Strength is deciding to show a day in my life because I belong to the fitness industry. Marketing is here to monitor and see whether everything's happening correctly or not. That's K11. So people watching bodyandstrength.com, I was in the process of telling you exactly how my day goes and what my day engages me with. So when I started out, I didn't really know I was going to do this business. I started out as a personal trainer, probably the country's first professional personal trainer. Not that people weren't doing personal training when I started out, that was way back in '92. And 1992, there were a few people doing personal training at the time that I started out. They'd actually started before me, but they weren't really doing it full time. They would be holding down jobs, regular 9-to-5 jobs, and they'd be taking maybe a couple of clients early in the morning before they left for work. So I call myself, by all rights, the first professional personal trainer of the country because I was the only one at that time that earned my entire bread and butter from personal training as a profession. And as we entered my head office, you all probably did not notice, so we're going to go back there. I'm definitely going to show you a photograph of me and Mr. Madhukar, and if you people have a connect with the fitness industry, I hope you know who Mr. Madhukar is. I do meet some youngsters who say, no, we don't know who Mr. Madhukar is, but they definitely do know about Talwalkar gyms because it's the biggest chain of gyms right now in the country. There are about 200 plus clubs. So everybody knows Talwalkar, but today's youngsters probably don't know Madhukar, but he's the one who started it all way back in the early 70s and late 60s. So he's the man who basically made me into a personal trainer, or he's the man who gave me my first break and sort of gave me a door to enter what is called as a fitness industry. Well, at that time, fitness industry started and ended with Madhukar sir. He was the only person capable of giving lucrative jobs to people, and I was lucky enough to find him, and I was lucky enough to be selected by him to become a personal trainer. So that journey started out in '92. Well, today I introduce myself as the co-founder director of K11 Academy of Fitness Sciences, and that means that my sector actually has turned into education, and education of a very specific kind. Education which is vocational education. It's not formal education. It is education specific to a skill that would give you a job, and whatever you learn in my school is what you'll be utilizing to earn money. That formal education, we do it because it's a formal, hence formality. It's a formality. We do it because it's necessary to be called as educated, and then afterwards, in today's day in life, there are so many areas in which you can explore your talents and earn a lot of money. I guess what he's doing is the best thing possible because he found his talent in cinematography and he followed that. And when he does a course in cinematography, that is not called as formal education, because when he does a course in cinematography, that's called as vocational education. That means education specific to the skill he's going to use to earn money. And so now I belong to the vocational education industry, specifically catering to the fitness industry. That's my connect with the fitness industry now. And I will and always will be a strength enthusiast. That's how I started off getting into the fitness industry. So one more reason that I'm sharing my day is because it's called as Body and Strength. I like that name. So when strength comes up, I always say yes for any kind of association. I do consider myself to be an ambassador for strength training, the person who actually made strength training popular in India, especially amongst the people where strength training was not popular. So who was it not popular with? Women and older people. So senior citizens, women, they're working out right now with a lot of fervor with weights, and I would like to take a little bit of credit for that, for making strength training, giving it its rightful place, because it was supposed to be meant only for people who wanted to compete in bodybuilding or to compete in sports like weightlifting or powerlifting. It was never supposed to be for people who just wanted to be generally fit. So it was basically, one of my things was to educate people about the fact that without strength, your body can't do much. Yes, endurance is important, and there's no denying the fact that endurance is important. Mobility and flexibility are important. My whole thrust was that strength is as important, not more important, but as important. And it was completely and totally neglected during the time that I started my personal training. So I've just entered my cabin, and this is not the way I dress because I've come here for my workout actually. So I'll be sharing my private little workout space with you guys. I have a leg workout today, so I'm going to be doing legs. So you're going to be seeing me squatting. And but whenever I come for my workout or wherever I enter my office, the first thing that I do is I get into my cabin and I check on my schools. I check on my centers where activities are going on. You're seeing a counseling session happening right now. So I've actually got this recorded, and hence I can actually see what my counselor, see and hear what my counselor is saying to inquiries that come in, whether the right kind of information is being dispensed or not, whether the inquiries are being looked after properly or not, are all the queries being solved. So this is some kind of a quality check that I do. It's something that I do on as a matter of habit. So actually speaking, this is a playback, so we're going to get out of the playback and we're going to check out my school, though we're going to go there to the Mumbai center. So I'm just going through the academy, checking what's happening, checking on my counselors, my lecturers.
Why the part pull down to the doctor's functional couple too closely. So climate is day to day, just providing is more for
lecturing. This is my way of knowing whether they can, this is my way of actually improving them. So I don't have cameras to actually catch people making mistakes. It's just about giving constructive feedback to my team to become more effective teachers. And obviously, while doing that, if I find something wrong, then that's a different thing. But the objective of the cameras, providing audiovisual facility to me to have a look, is basically being able to keep an eye on all the centers. So we are in Mumbai, Pune, in Delhi, in Kolkata, and now we're going to be opening up in Ahmedabad. So now it's very important for me to know what's happening over there, to have a complete control. And one of the most important tools for my business now has become this audiovisual cameras in all classrooms.
But the non-footballer doing and leg extension and for
Well, I have to tell this. Yeah, to line the camera. I can't see your face.
If you do an in and out machine for adapters, it is not functional because the adapter in our day-to-day life works more to stabilize the pelvis than anything else. So
I want to check Pune Academy also.
start with GP approach. give them movements like deadlifts and squats, because I have never understood why sportsmen are told to do half squats. All of the strength
K11 Academy for Sciences in
you squat to आना चाहिए, you sit down and have the gluteus maximus. You have to know to squat.
Other people might call it the gym floor, but it actually is a lab. Because we teach exercise science, and every science has theory taught in a classroom and practicals taught in a lab. So our practicals happen obviously with exercise equipment. So obviously our lab is going to look like a gym floor, but it truly by all means is a lab. It is not a gym floor. There are no members here, only students, and this entire setup of a gym floor has been dedicated to the training of students. In that sense, we are one of a kind because we have this entire facility dedicated purely to teaching students. So all of these people, none of these are members. That's a master trainer there. And there are 5 students here who are going to be trained by this master trainer. And that's what we do. Even if we have batches of 40 students, they're broken up into small batches of 5 to each master trainer. That's the reception. Now even at the reception, sometimes I'll see somebody waiting here. I'll check, they're probably waiting for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll look into them again, they're still waiting for half an hour. That's when I'll call up the receptionist and ask them as to what these people are doing, waiting for so long, how come they're not being attended to. So simple things like that. Constantly in touch with all the centers. So thank God for technology, because otherwise maintaining quality, having centers all over the place, there's no way one can do that. So you're seeing all these empty chairs and all that because it's early in the morning. The admin staff has not really come in yet. That's now the Delhi center. That's a master trainer again. And these are the students that are there with this particular batch with this master trainer. In the morning, I think 11 to 2 batch will be there in Delhi. That's the class going on. The audio is not working.
Was this in the picture?
These two? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're my parents actually. And that, by the way, for the youngsters, they should know that that photograph of my mother and father was taken probably in the early 1980s. And that's a selfie, by the way. So that's how people used to take selfies at that time. So they put the camera on timer and then they'd quickly come and pose. So that's my mom and dad posing before a camera, and there's no photographer. So that truly is a selfie when there was no such thing as a selfie. My coffee is done. So before the workday starts, I'm going to start heading towards my small little private gym, and I'll also explain there why I work out there and I don't work out in my academy. So let's go to the gym. The gym, luckily for me, I've been able to get my gym right here in my office so that I miss minimum number of workouts. show you guys around the office later. Right now, just a bit anxious to get my workout started. All this is equipment that had gotten old at my academy, so whatever equipment was replaced, I got it here for myself. So my strength training normally happens here. I build strength here and build my body here. At one point in time, I used to look like that. Those are sketches that an artist has made from my photographs. So yeah, I used to carry a decent amount of muscle. Was strong enough to squat and deadlift with way above 500 pounds. And then, as you saw that I came on my bike, that's one more of my passions, and unfortunately that passion did cause a few accidents. So about more than 3 years back I had these accidents, and then I had surgeries, and then I couldn't work out for a year, and then quite frankly I tried to pick it up again after that. Koshish jari hai, abhi bhi wahi ho raha hai. I think I've probably started and stopped 5 times. Now this is like make it and break it. Like this is going to be the last time that I start off, and I've been really very regular now. And I've realized that I hate being physically weak. And once upon a time I was really strong, and I've just watched myself become physically weaker. This shoulder is a big bloody problem, but then finally you can keep searching for problems. But if you want something, you'll have to go around the problem. So that is exactly what I'm doing. I hate the way my body looks right now, because I've always been the guy with muscles. I've been identified with that. Bodybuilding has been something that has been a part of me for the longest time during my life. And quite strange that I'm existing right now without the musculature that I once had. So I want to correct that. And yeah, business keeps me busy. There are 1,000 reasons why. A lot of people actually make excuses for me, saying that it's all right, you're very busy with your business. But quite frankly, thanks to the work that I do, thanks to the school, I don't think there's a single gym in the country that I can't request and walk into and ask for a workout. So locations don't matter. I can work out anywhere. So many of the students of K11 have opened their own gyms, and I can always request them to open their gyms for me. I could probably request some of them to open their doors at 2 in the night if I wanted to work out. I don't lift that heavy anymore, so right now I can be regular even by training in those 5-star gyms, which I hate, but then wo bhi chal jayega. So quite frankly, and plus I made a gym for myself here. About that a little later. Why am I not working out in my academy? My academy's got a beautiful gym floor. I don't work out there. I work out here because I guess a little awkward training in front of my students. They've all heard about my 500 plus pound squats and deadlifts, and when I lift these piddly weights, it affects me. So I've sort of closed the doors and become private. You probably are going to see me working out. Why not? I'll show you how I'm building my strength back again, if that helps you guys. So I've got my left shoulder completely rebuilt. My triceps had torn off in the bike accident, so that has been reattached. And one positive thing that I did through my surgeries was actually I straightened my legs. I had like bendy legs, and that was causing a major problem with my knees while squatting. A lot of pain. So when I got these surgeries done, as it is, I had to be off workouts for a long time. So I said, might as well get these straightened. So I've done an awesome surgery called as a high tibial osteotomy, where they actually cut the bone and reset it. It is a pretty major surgery, but I got that done, and now my legs are fairly straight, and hence my load bearing is good, and hence when I squat I don't get the pain. So that is something I did positive. These things are taking time, they're holding me back and they're pushing movements. Today is leg day, and since it's leg day, I'm going to be wearing lifting shoes. And guess what, that's going to be one more thing that I'm going to be very proud of sharing with you all, as to something that I've done at the K11 school. Yeah. So yeah, these are my lifting shoes actually. Well, something that you all should know is that the regular Nikes and Reeboks and Pumas and Adidas shoes that you all buy are not really meant for lifting. They generally are called as cross trainers, but they're more running shoes than lifting shoes. Lifting shoes are very, very different. So Nike and Adidas both make lifting shoes, but they've got specific names. Like there's a Nike Romelio, and that is a proper lifting shoe. And there is also the Adipower, which is also a proper lifting shoe. We don't get those in India, we've got to order online. Even though we get all the Nike shoes and all the Reebok shoes, Puma shoes here, Adidas, Asics, basically the shoe stores don't keep lifting shoes, they only keep running shoes. And one of the mistakes that would happen is that a student who's enrolled at the academy knows that he's going to go through intensive practicals and decides that since he's doing a course, he'll end up spending some 6,000-7,000 rupees buying a nice, good shoe, branded shoe. And once he comes to the academy, he's going to be told by the master trainer that these are wrong shoes. बहुत problem होता है वो लड़के को बेचारा. अभी तो 6-7 हज़ार रुपये खर्चा किया है. Now he has to be told that these shoes are not right for lifting. Tell them about lifting shoes, tell them about Adipower, and obviously it is beyond budget, because when you want to order those online, it costs you around 15,000 bucks. So any kind of evolution that we do at K11, any kind of improvements that we do, is filling up a need gap. Our master trainers used to find it difficult to teach form and technique, because when you do an exercise in those running shoes, your feet, the lower foot biomechanics go wrong and the form and technique goes wrong. You're like a chain, it's called as a kinetic chain. So once this is not aligned properly at the bottom, there'll be problems here, there'll be problems here, there'll be problems all the way up to the cervical. And your form and technique cannot be right. The knees will collapse inwards. The moment you wear the right shoes, which are meant for lifting, automatically your biomechanics improve. And the master trainer finds it easier to teach somebody form and technique while he's wearing a lifting shoe. So I'll tell you about lifting shoes. They're extremely thin at the forefoot. Actually, this is an envelope, but actually it's extremely thin at the forefoot. And it's got an elevated heel. It always has an elevated heel at the back. Okay? Plus, the heel cup is extremely rigid. You can't really collapse it. The midfoot is like iron. You cannot bend the shoe. And there is absolutely no, it's like a piece of wood inside. There's no give. Lifting shoes cannot really be squishy, or they can't really be shock absorbent. In fact, they need to be the opposite of shock absorbent. They should not absorb any shock, so that when you actually push from the ground, you get very good feedback from the ground. And all the power generation pushes you up. So there's a lot of thought that goes into a proper lifting shoe. There was a company in India that cashed in on the knowledge we dispensed about lifting shoes and started making lifting shoes and selling them for some 1,800 rupees. I saw a lot of my students buying these shoes, and they're wrong, they're dead wrong, those shoes. But they were at the right price point, because a Nike Romelio would cost 15,000 rupees. So at that time, luckily, that's how coincidence happens. When you start thinking about something, they should have good shoes, they should have good shoes. At that time, certain things conspire and things happen. So I met this boy who came and gave a presentation to me. His name is Saurabh Himade. He came to me being a qualified podiatrist, lower foot biomechanist. And he said he had a shoe factory, that he manufactures shoes also. So that just clicked at the right time, and I asked him whether he would make shoes that were actually lifting shoes. So all my inputs were given to him, and we've created the K11 lifting shoe. This is not to say that I'm getting into the shoe business. This is not for sale. This is what is going to be given to my students upon them enrolling at the K11 Academy of Fitness Sciences. So let's say 40 students enroll in a particular batch. As soon as they enroll, their measurements are taken. And before their practicals start, they receive their lifting shoes. So they don't have to spend on new shoes, and they get proper professional grade lifting shoes. That is part of what we call as the enrollment kit. They don't need to pay extra. The fees take care of it. So whatever they pay to enroll entitles each one of them, for the personal trainer course, entitles each one of them to get a lifting shoe. This took about a year to develop 6 prototypes. This is prototype number 6 There are still further changes to this that we've recommended and which are going to be incorporated in the first lot that come. The first lot will arrive in about 2 to 3 weeks, and it will be handed over to the first batch of students that are going to get these shoes before their practical start is the June end batch. They are the ones who are going to get this shoe. So it's something that we've done which is unprecedented, but that's not why we've done it. We've not thought about it. And I have owned Nike Romerios, I've owned other lifting shoes, and I love working out in these, not just because I'm proud to wear the K11 shoes. It's just that these are really good lifting shoes, and hence I love to wear them because they help. And in fact, they're going to get better. Like for instance, this particular prototype, if you see, has got a slight curvature on top. That should not be there in a lifting shoe. And hence we are going to have really, really flat shoes. The fair copies that are going to come out, the fair ones that are going to come out. He's a marketing head, but complete gym nut from the very beginning. So actually very attached to his workouts, understands the K11 brand as a brand that talks very accurately about exercise science. So he's somebody who I can trust with the marketing of K11, because finally marketing is communications. Marketing is about what you talk about your company to outside people. Very important for that person to understand the company very well. So I don't need to explain to him what K11 is all about. And he joined K11 sort of knowing what the company is all about. So thanks to body and strength, आज progress हो गया. Camera was on, no? So दूसरा rep हो गया. And that's always a great thing. Find motivation wherever you can. So if the camera was not there, एक rep करके रख देता. अब था camera on, so did one more. So I'm ahead now. And now at this stage, I don't really care how much of progress I'm making, as long as there is progress workout to workout. That's it. That gives me motivation for the next one. And all of this are reminders. So the reason why I had an artist do these images of mine is just a constant reminder. Okay, there was a time when I used to look like this, so shame on me for looking like this. So it works. Every time I come, I don't want to look at some pro bodybuilder's photograph. I want to be reminded of what I look like. That actually pushes me more. And finally, it's inspiration. So inspiration starts with I-N, inside, inspiration. So it's internal, and hence my photos. This place is only for me. So it's not vanity कि मेरे photo लगाओ, ऐसा नहीं है. It's just that it drives me to get back. And yeah, again, it's a nicely made small little gym of mine, but it's mine. Hence nobody can tell me not to write on the walls. Nobody can tell me, अरे खराब कर दिया. So I write whatever comes to my mind. So I mean, I keep on meeting people who say, Kaizzad, back to your workouts. I have the tiger. I have the tiger. So I said, Bhaiya, I have the tiger. Lekhe karo kya? I want muscles with tiger. So I wrote this. Then actually, if you see this Sunday, 1st July, no, Saturday, 23rd June. So 23rd June 2018, as recent as that, was what I've called as day one. So I have a very dear friend, Shailveer Vakil. He's a personal trainer by profession, and I consider him to be one of the best personal trainers I've come across. One of the key things a personal trainer needs to do is get that workout done, right? Clients who take on personal trainers, they have their good days and bad days, like we all do. And on a bad day, he doesn't want to work out. And if the personal trainer is really of the highest of caliber, that personal trainer can get a fantastic workout out of you on your worst days. That is the true hallmark of a personal trainer. So Shailveer Vakil is one of those kinds. And no, he's not K11 certified, but he has the philosophies of what K11 is built on. And also a dear friend and somebody that I call as coach, because I need a coach. Everybody needs a coach. Finally, self-coaching, you can only do so much. You can only be a hard taskmaster. You need somebody above you. So I used to call him during my worst times when I was rebuilding myself. I used to call him. And he had a very simple thing to say. So, you carry a lot of baggage from behind, like my workouts are not doing well and there's been no progress, I've become weaker, this, that. One thing he used to say that used to get me completely in gear used to be day one. Forget about the past. Just, what if this is day one, right? It starts off here. Then you don't have any baggage. All your previous bloody failures, they just vanish. All the workouts that didn't happen because it's day one. And then you build it from there. Day one has got no bad baggage. Day one has got no past. Day one has just looking forward. You can only move forward. So it created a lot of psychological strength for me when he used to say, day one. Today's day one. So my day ones, I think I've had about 5 day ones after my accident. I'd start off and then after 2 months, again another gap. Long gap. For whatever reasons. You can say it was for traveling, it was for this, that, I said, but hoda tha. And this one is day one for the 5th or 6th time, 23rd of June. As of today, aaj kya hai?
22nd August.
One day before 2 months elapsed, I've been regular. So if you see this is what I wrote. No more stupid day number counting. Because वो day 1 हो गया, बाद में मैंने day 2 लिखा है, day 4 लिखा है. Then it came to a point where I said, truly back in the game, so I no longer need to count days. Otherwise I was keeping a track. Day 4, 110 kgs into 3. So 110 kgs into 3 was day 4, and today I did a double with 130. Pretty slow, but right. And just to give you an idea, at my strongest, I've squatted with 250 kilos, so I'm still way off. Then all this is scare tactics. One last chance. अभी गया, अभी छोड़ दिया तो गया, नहीं होने वाला है. Scary but true. So they say now or never, no? So you can make it a little bit more clearer. But after now is straight never. So if it doesn't happen now, you straight get on to never. The wall has become a good place to remove my frustrations. This had to happen, you see. This had to happen. I've been so completely, my identity was physical strength. So, abhi to problem ho jata hai because I go for whatever official seminars or speeches, and I get called every time the bloody my intro stage. Iron Man of India, अरे खाएगा खाक Iron Man, सारा पूरा कटका हो गया. So this whole thing where people say Iron Man of India, I better be aware that I've become very physically weak actually, and that is what is going to get my strength back. There are people when they see, so I'm sure when somebody sees the video and that you're shooting, and if they see me struggling on that second rep with the weight, like doing a 2-rep max, I'm sure there are going to be people saying कि मगर अभी heavy करने की क्या ज़रूरत है, अभी इस वक्त they have all their philosophies that you've proved yourself on stage or blah 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 and all that. Right now you should be working out only for fitness. Why are you challenging yourself to heavier weights? So that's again a very frustrating and stupid thing to say. That why are you lifting heavy? Why meaning what? There's no why. Because I want to, and because I want to get stronger. So people don't understand that. People think aisa kuch. There are stages in life where you're supposed to. So now you're supposed to be a businessman, and hence you're not supposed to lift heavy. So these are stereotypes, are stupid stereotypes actually. They don't mean anything. So a businessman can run the standard chartered marathons. Just because it is a standard chartered marathon, साला बैंक का नाम डाल दिया, तो CEO भागेगा, सब लोग ताली बजाएंगे. Some bloody businessman, industrialist runs, सब ताली बजाएंगे. कोई heavy lifting करता है तो लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता, अभी क्यों? It's the same thing. I respect somebody running 42 kilometers, and somebody should respect that I'm trying to lift as heavy as I can. And yes, I do want to get to a point where I'm lifting more than what I used to lift earlier. See, come here. See this. So as a educationist, as a teacher, I've always told people to stay away from machines. Okay? Now, because of my triceps tear and my shoulder tear, I need some time before I get back to free weights. I still need to build some muscle. So sir, it's come around full circle. And that's one more reason why I hide and do my workouts, because how many people and how many students do I explain why I'm using machines when I've actually taught them to stay away from machines? So I have to repeat the whole story again. This is actually good, because ek bar bol do, now you people will put it on YouTube, there will be 1,000 people who can get that explanation. Otherwise I have to keep on repeating that explanation everywhere. And explanations sound like excuses. So this is a machine, that Smith machine. मैंने इतना मजाक उड़ाया है of people using Smith machine कि अभी वो भुगतना पड़ रहा है. अभी I have to do Smith machine. But I'm dying to get back to free weights. So I've written here, now that I'm stuck for a while with machines, I hate them even more because I'm stuck with them.
What is the reason you use the machine? What is the reason you use the machine?
The accidents and the surgeries afterwards. This one is bloody jammed. This one doesn't have a rotator cuff. So I've led a life that has led to accidents. Don't regret it. I still use my bike, as you can see, and I love the bike. When people say that you've had so many accidents and you're still riding the bike, there is an analogy that I draw actually, which is more hardcore than you can ever think. So National Geographic, you must be seeing National Geographic. There's a guy who's lost his leg to a crocodile, and he still loves crocodiles, and he's still around them, and he's still sitting on top of a crocodile, playing around with him. So that is when you define a passion. एक accident हो गया और छोड़ दिया, that is not passion at all. Then the passion never was there. You call it passion only if you just can't give it up no matter what is happening. So, and that's my wife, by the way. So I needed her photograph also. Another. We at K11 call her the original stronger. So she was actually. So I told you that I was, in a way, responsible for encouraging women to strength train, and she used to be my demo girl. She used to be the one lifting the weights, helping me prove to other women that you don't get masculine and muscular and huge just because you're lifting weights. That actually weight training, strength training enhances the male form, and so does it enhance the female form. And hormones dictate whether we will have a male form or a female form. right? So there's this very, I mean, it's a taunt and it's a bad word to use, but man boobs, you've heard of that, right? So what do you think man boobs are? The breast development in a man. And how does that happen? Not because of some feminine activity that they do. It happens because of hormones. It happens because of a build-up of the predominant female hormone, which is estrogen. So the sex hormone that is predominant in women, if it starts rising up in men, they will start developing female secondary sexual characteristics. Same goes for a female. Unless and until her testosterone levels significantly rise, she's not going to look like a man. So you've heard of eunuchs, right? So eunuchoidism is a basically medical terminology. So eunuchs are what people call as the middle gender. So eunuchs generally identify with the female form a lot more than the male form. They may be in between, but a eunuch never ever dresses like a man. A eunuch always dresses as a woman. And when you see that eunuch wearing a sari, it's like a man wearing a sari, correct? So I guess then eunuchs must be people who must be taking weight training very seriously, because that is why they're masculine, no? So that's another example to give. You don't become masculine by doing certain activities. You can be doing nothing and you'll grow a beard. As a female, you'll have a beard if you increase testosterone. And strength training, strength is needed by both genders. Musculature is needed by both genders. So आजकल women में तो booty बहुत famous है. Everybody wants a booty, and no one wants to train heavy. And I'm here taking Ronnie Coleman's dialogue. Everybody wants a butt, everybody wants a booty, but nobody wants to lift heavy ass weights. And all a woman has to do for a great butt is to squat nice and deep. That's all that is required. So that's my wife, truly a partner in both workouts and in life and in my business, and stronger, nice stronger. There are a lot more other things randomly I've written. Whatever comes to mind. Yeah. So come, we'll now go for my post-workout shake, which is an interesting shake. Yes, it's got whey protein in it, but I'll show you what all else it has. And then I'm going to eat a breakfast. Yes, I'm going to have a post-workout shake, and plus I'm going to have a nice big breakfast, which you're going to share with me. So the breakfast is going to be about 10 eggs, deliciously prepared. So it's going to give you a little jhalak about how I eat. So we're lucky enough to have a head office where my people, me included, me and Kalyani included, have a nice little pantry. So we're getting into our pantry. That's my very loyal housekeeping staff that looks after us, keeps everything nice and clean. So obviously, whey protein, okay. Well, coconut oil. So coconut oil actually is there for a reason, because it's damn bloody healthy to have coconut oil. And the way I eat, I always combine protein and fats. That's my diet, fat and protein, fat and protein, fat and protein, all along. The next meal you'll see me have is also fat and protein. And same goes for that. And so I pour a nice handsome portion of coconut oil. And guess what? So it's 50% lauric acid, medium chain triglycerides. Don't want to get too technical, but it's a great source of energy, medium chain triglycerides. And whey protein, obviously one of the best sources of protein, and the perfect natural combination of fat and protein, right? Blended in water. And the coconut oil, just as I put it, it enhances the flavor. You have to try. Once you have coconut oil with your protein shakes, you'll never have it without it. Because quite frankly, who doesn't like coconut? अपने जो Indian sweets है ना, अच्छा forget the Indian sweets, शायद मालूम नहीं इतना. पाक, कोई भी पाक बनता है वो coconut का बनता है. And that coconut flavor actually enhances the sweet. Same thing, Bounty. Have you had Bounty chocolates? So if you go to the airport, you'll always find these blue wrapper Bounty chocolates where you'll see that coconut. Or there was also a biscuit called as coconut crunches. Okay, coconut adds tremendous flavor to anything that is sweet. So if you have like a chocolate flavored whey protein and you add coconut oil to it, apart from the awesome nutritional benefits, what you also get is a protein shake that tastes like Bounty chocolates. What do you want? Actually, it's a simple principle. Anything that you have for health, anything that you have for health actually should be tasting awesome. So for me, I eat in a particular way and that never changes. Like how a vegetarian eats in a particular way and it never changes. Suddenly vegetarian को नहीं बोल सकते कि एक बार आज अंडा खाओ, आज चिकन खाओ, नहीं खाने वाला. So maybe कोई चीज़ें नहीं खाता हूँ, मेरे वो डाइट में रहता ही नहीं है. जब ब्रेकफास्ट खाएंगे तो मालूम पड़ेगा कि मेरे डाइट में क्या नहीं है और क्या है भरपूर. एक पी के देख, ठीक है सर.
You're talking about Bounty chocolate, right?
Yes.
We call it Bounty.
अच्छा, वो नॉर्थ में करते हैं.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
अभी आ रहा है.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my breakfast time right now, and you'll see that my breakfast is actually quite delicious. And I'm a fitness enthusiast, I'm a health enthusiast, I always eat healthy, but probably the food that you'll see on my plate is not something that your dietitian is going to call healthy. Well, I've got my own scientific reasons, and this is not a class, it's just seeing the way I spend a day. So I'm not really going to explain, but it's eggs, and it is whole eggs. I don't remove the yolks, and it is made in butter. And it has got all the spices in the world, and it's got some pickle as well. This pickle I am not going to touch because it's got sugar added to it, but this pickle is something that I enjoy along with my eggs. This is about 6 or 7 eggs. It's what people call as egg burji. And if you want an English term for it, it's spiced up scrambled eggs.
Hi. Good morning.
We didn't we mentioned that also. Yeah. By the way, sorry, that's my wife, Kaizzad Capadia, and she is the CEO of K11 Academy of Fitness Sciences, or K11 Education Private Limited, which is the company that owns K11 Academy of Fitness Sciences. So she's the top boss. She's the one who runs operations on a day-to-day basis and does everything that a chief executive officer is supposed to do. So many people know her as the girl who started lifting weights. As I told you at the time that I was educating people that women should lift weights, it was nice to have Kalyani around because then I would use her example of, so normally the picture in people's minds was if somebody's lifting heavy then it's a massive woman. So obviously Kalyani is not massive at all, and she's the opposite of massive, and she used to lift heavy weights, so it helped me educate people that weights don't make women bulky or massive. Right?
Used to nahi, I still.
No, it helped me educate people. Now people are educated. I didn't say you don't lift heavy weights anymore. So yeah, she still lifts heavy weights. Sebastian got inspired to follow the fitness lifestyle, and yes, the word is inspired because you inspired yourself by listening to logic and you said this makes sense.
Yes.
And I've really screwed around with my health, and I've been a fat kid and I've lost all that weight through sheer stupidity, and I've weakened myself, and I'm an athlete, I want to be an athlete, I want to be athletic, strong. So you attend my talk at SK Club, correct? SK says we will invite 300 people, you please come and talk on our behalf since you're managing the gym. For me, it's a 300 head count. for me, it is that the person is going to collect the crowd for me. Now I got to only do one thing, just stand there and impress them. Can I collect that crowd myself? No. So at that time, how many years back are we talking about?
10 years.
10 years back. So 10 years back, my brand equity was yet not that established. Sunit Sebastian did not know who Kaizzad Capadia was. He just landed up there saying कि fat loss के ऊपर seminar है. He landed up there. He landed up there, started listening to the guy on the stage. He's making sense. Sunit Sebastian is nodding away, saying it's making sense. And that's how my brand equity grows. So for the longest time, 10 years back and beyond, any opportunity or platform I would get to show what I know, I would miss. And none of them were charged. So one thing is that if you don't charge, probably your brand equity may suffer. People may not appreciate you because you don't charge. That is not the case when a person gives you an opportunity to stand in front of 500 people. Boss, those 500 people didn't know you, but at the end of your seminar, those 500 people are like in your hands. They know that you're someone. They don't know you've done it for free. When 500 people collect, no, they feel part of a big event because there are 499 more people all around them watching this one guy on stage. A lot of power attached to that. So your quality of talking, knowledge dispensation, everything may be the same, but if there are 5 people, those 5 people don't feel they're part of anything important. Their minds are not that open right now because there's just 4 more. And there's you. Suddenly there are 499 more. It just completely changes the perspective. That we're listening to somebody who's supposed to be a big expert, otherwise. So when somebody does that for you, and I used to like earlier during my this thing, when I got to know that I could stand in front of a class or a stage and talk about something that I knew more than them, and I could share that. And I didn't need to look at a book, and I didn't require a slide presentation, nothing. I could just stand there and start talking. And there was so much to talk about. And the fact that people were not getting tired listening to me, and the fact that they stayed there, that told me, okay, this is definitely something that I should do to get my word across, get my statements across. That's how people got to know me. And then for a while I did do the numbers game. Today I spoke to 20 people. This weekend I spoke to 200 people. It was always a head count. I've done some embarrassing talks. I have spoken at a kiddie party, but that was 30 ladies. I've spoken on the terrace of somebody's building, but that was another 55 people. It was just, okay, 55 more people now know who I am and know what I have to share. It didn't matter. Then when enough people got to know me, then the venue started mattering. And then what I did was, yes, for somebody I would do it free of cost. If I saw that it's also going to help my brand and thus help my school and my business, then it would be about how many people are going to come. He says 20 of my friends. I say sorry. Then he has to work his ass off to get me 500 people to listen. I said, see, listen, whether it's 20 people, whether it's 500 people, I give everything I've got. And I'm drained by the end of it. I spend a lot of myself. Why not do it for 500 people here? Why waste so much of only to get to 20 people? I've got enough people know me, get me a crowd, work towards it. Okay, and I need a first class venue. Don't make me talk on the terrace of a building anymore. I'm not going to come. So I'm not charging you, but you better spend on seeing to it that a Kaizzad Capadia talk is a classy event. So you better share the venues with me. I'm not really coming in some mandap. Right? So these are the kind of things that I set before I started charging. So initially, anywhere and everywhere. Initially for 10 people, 100 people, didn't matter. Then the numbers mattered. Then the production quality of the entire event has to be classy. I can't be seen in some trashy venue. It affects my brand image. So then all the onus of seeing to it that my brand image is not tarnished was looked after by the person. So those were the criteria. And now, after so many years, I say, sorry boss, 5 lakhs plus taxes. And there were 2-3 places where I refused, despite them agreeing to 5 lakhs plus taxes. I refused because I saw that my talk is going to do them more harm than good. So some gym owner decides to call me for an event. I have to tell them कि भाई जो भी आपके ट्रेनर सिखा रहे हैं तो हमारे they are not qualified. आपने कोई बड़ा सूरत में जिम डाला है, मैं जाके आपको आपके पूरे मेंबर बेस को बोलूँगा कि जो भी आप कर रहे हो वो गलत कर रहे हो. I have to worry about, so it's not that I will trash his place. I trash non-science. But if the person who's perpetrating non-science is paying me 5 lakhs, I will respect that amount and say, sorry, I politely refuse to take that because I don't want you to spend 5 lakhs on me and then take the brunt of the members. I'm going to turn the members against you. In those bloody 3 hours that the members spend with me, they will know that your trainers know nothing. I may expose you like this, but I'm not going to take 5 lakhs from you and then screw your business. So, I'm sorry, I'm not coming. J.D. Birla College calls me. So that's one thing that I never charge for. Formal education calling me, boss, I want to be there. And all those talks start off with me saying, I am Bachelor of Arts Economics. I've been called here to speak on sports nutrition to the students of a degree course. And that's a lot of value. So I have to look at the money. I said, honorably, I will come. I've been invited by a college to talk to their students about sports nutrition, something that is piquing their interest. So I'm always excited to do that. I never talk money. And I go. Because it's honorary. Rotary Club will not pay you. Yes. But Rotary Club is a good place. I refuse the Rotary Club. Guess why? They give me 25 minutes. I said, you're crazy. 25 minutes? What the hell am I supposed to talk about in 25 minutes? And I've had them come back to me saying, Mr. Capadia, we'd love to have you, and we've spoken to our president and he's agreed for 35 minutes. I said, thank you, I'm not good. So 25 minutes to 35 minutes, I said, what am I going to educate? So I'm never going to be in eyewash. I'm never going to be just for the heck of it. 35 minutes, I cannot change anybody's mindset. And if you're calling me for something, then I need to be able to change their thinking. I need them going out of the room. There is a skill of doing that, but I've not yet acquired that. That's another thing. There's a skill of making your point in 18 minutes. That's what TED Talks is all about. And yes, not TED Talks, but TEDx and all that. These guys started talking to me. If I talk at TEDx, I'm sure that I will be talking at TED Talks as well, but TEDx also. I need to be able to keep myself into 18 minutes. I still haven't learned the art yet. So brevity is something that I'll have to really learn. How do I make that point in 18 minutes and get out? And leave a lasting impression. And at one point in time, I was very proud of the fact that my lectures go on for 10 hours and 12 hours and all of that. And you know, they do. So right now, many of my sports nutrition lectures, they go on for 12 hours. They literally start at 10 and they end at 10 in the night. And I don't even feel my bladder in 12 hours. I'm just lost. So I think it was Eisenhower or one of those, or probably Churchill or one of the presidents, whether it was the United Kingdom or whether it was USA, I don't know, one of the prime ministers or presidents. So he said something that really hit hard. He says, if somebody doesn't put time limit on me, I can go there and talk and not prepare. Somebody says, I want to make a 1-hour speech. I start preparing a month in advance. Somebody says, I need to talk for 20 minutes. I start preparing bloody 3 months in advance. So he doesn't need any preparation if there's no time limit. That completely changed the bloody dynamics for me. So refusal on the basis of all this. Rotary Club, brevity. TED Talks, brevity. I will not take it up even though the opportunity is awesome. I'm not good at that.
So are you still actively working on
the brevity part of it? I know it's a drawback and I need to work on it. I've still not really got around to working on it. Probably I'll have to do something where I just put myself on the spot and go for it.